introduce myself, and my goal is I roll with Go Accelerator. Listen, I love to follow instructions. What can I say? My name is Nicole McLaren Campbell. I'm a Goal Accelerator strategist. I'm the founder of the Goal Accelerator, what is now a movement. And we're a community of women who are committed to building systems to smooth out our lives so we can get our goals and also live with ease and flow. The backstory, the genesis of Goal Accelerator. Well, I suppose we could take it all the way back to some 14, 15 years ago when I made my very first vision board. I was always really energetic. I knew I wanted to change the world somehow. I just really wanted to do things in the world, and I felt like I just had a lot bubbling up inside of me with no particular idea of how I would express it, if that makes sense. And so I was in my first job as a university and master's graduate, just getting into adulting. And while I found myself fulfilled by my job, I just knew there was more. I knew there was more I wanted to do and be in the world, and I felt mostly afraid that it was not going to happen. So then that's when I said, no, I need to take matters into my own hands. And I watched this documentary called The Secret, and it spoke about the law of attraction, but what it really did for me was bring me face to face with the fact that it was really me and me alone that was going to determine whether I lived the life of my dreams or just thought about it and continued to be scared of the what if I don't. So I decided, well, what if I do? And I made my first vision board, and as things from the vision board started to happen, I just naturally am a sharer, right? And so Instagram came about and around the same time. I just started sharing things from my vision board, and folks started DMing me like, oh, can you teach this? Can you teach this? I love to teach is another thing. And so I started teaching vision boards, and that turned into the 7-day vision unlock, then the 21-day vision unlock, and it was basically an email type of course where we'd go on, I forget what platform I was using at the time, but my first webinar, I was shaking with terror of just nerves and would anybody show up, etc. And anyway, what happened out of the 21-day vision unlock is that folks were like, I'm super inspired, I'm ready to go after my goals, I have it all clear now, I'm on fire, but you just going to leave us like this? And I was like, yes. And I went back over to AIM, and just, more and more DMs, more and more asks from women, and more of me feeling on my heart that, being with women and helping women on this journey that I was also on seemed like the best, most exciting thing that I could do. And that's how I started Goal Accelerator 5 years ago. I was like, okay, let me take this, let me just take this on. Let me just find out how people do online clubs and run online courses. Because before that, it was straight DIY. And I decided I'd invest in it. I decided I would invest in it. And I met a coach who taught people how to do courses online. I was like, okay, perfect. Signed up for her, made the investment, was completely terrified. And within, I think it was maybe 2 to 3 months, I had opened the club, recouped the investment in the coach that showed me how to do it. And I don't know, the rest is history. We're still making history right now.
Perfect.
So why did we select Greece? Look, I didn't select Greece, it's just the truth. Our first retreat was at Sandals, South Coast, Jamaica, and it was absolutely incredible. I am Jamaican, obviously. Jamaica is my comfort zone. And so for me, it was like, okay, second retreat, where, which part of Jamaica this time? And someone on our team suggested to me, we need to go international. And I thought about it, and my first thing, the discomfort, the fear is like, what? We just pulled off a really great one in Jamaica. Why you have to up the ante? Well, this is why you need people around you who will push you. And I was attracted to the idea of Mykonos because it's just something you read about, something you hear about. And it's been so important for me personally to put myself in places and spaces that, that maybe I've just seen and seem so far away from me, but really nothing is so far away from us. And I think there's a process of really stretching your mind and yourself when you realize, hey, this is my life too. Like, this could really be my life. And so we decided on Mykonos, and the other criteria for choosing a location for the retreat, I realized after the first one, is I need a water body. Like, it needs to be a water body somewhere happening. That needs to be an element of it. It doesn't have to be the central feature of it, but I wanted it to be an element of it. And so still Mykonos, still island vibe, but Europe island vibe. I was like, all right, let's take on Europe. And we needed to show the girls that they were global and capable of anything. And for many girls who came, this was their first time to Europe. And it just really, you know, it was just such a fun time. So yeah, it seemed really far out, really expensive, really like, can we pull this off? But I'm so proud that we did, and we did it in fine fashion. And doing something so hard just showed all of us that anything is possible. So there are no limits when it comes to the Goal Accelerator retreat. Team, people to help me. God is good. God caused the right people to show up and to really help. And because we had done a retreat before, we knew the fundamentals. We had in place some really strong spreadsheets that had checklists, and the first thing was to be able to have somebody on the ground who could really recommend the right place. Because here's the thing, we did not want to take girls. I mean, we had some girls coming from the UK, but mostly it was US, Canada, other places in the Caribbean, Jamaica, going to Greece. Now, you don't want to go there and not be happy with your room and not be happy with the space you're in. We wanted the space to feel aspirational, to just be luxurious, and to give us that intimate feel that we were looking for. So we hired somebody on Fiverr. This is, again, someone else on the Goal Accelerator team that was like, oh, I'll just go to Fiverr and find someone. She just made it seem like, oh, duh. And I'm like, oh, okay. She found somebody on the ground. Once we selected the hotel, everything got a bit easier because it was just a matter of executing based on the things that we knew needed to happen, which we knew because we had our previous retreat and we had documented the different things. So it was easier than you might think. But also really hard at the same time. I don't know, it's like when you have a baby. It's so flipping hard. And then as soon as you deliver now, and the baby's so cute, and the picture's so nice, and the video's so nice, and you're like, oh, I'll do it again. And you forget the horror of the sleepless nights. But no, it was amazing, and we pulled it off because of God and because of an excellent team. Oh, memorable moments at the retreat, moments I would love to highlight. So what's been really great about having 2 retreats under our belt is that we already had a format that we wanted to observe. We know a format that really works, because it's really important at the Goal Accelerator retreat to balance fun with the serious work that we have all come there to do together. And connection across the board is the most important. Women come to the Goal Accelerator for the strength of the connections and friendships that they can create with like-minded women. That's something a lot of women feel isolated in their silos in different countries where there are minorities, and they just don't get the opportunity to be in rooms of women who are just killing it in their different areas, but who aren't afraid to show up and be vulnerable and say, look, this is the ways in which it hasn't been working out, and these are the things that I'm struggling with, and this is what I'm looking to do. And then to have that collective support and that pushing of self, but also deeply inspirational, because you can see people who have done it, like examples right there. And so, you know, if I think about it very deeply, we have a big task when we bring women together because of the goals that we set for how we want people to feel and the transformation we want them to experience. And I'm huge on return on investment. I talk about ROI a lot, whether it's with AIM, anything I'm thinking of, any decision, ROI. What's the return on this investment that women are gonna have? I would take that extremely seriously. So, you know, the moments where the beauty of it is everyone who is at the Goal Accelerator retreat is in the Goal Accelerator club, right? So they know each other somewhat through video calls and through different things that the club has done virtually. But for a lot of them, this is the first time coming face to face. We also always have people who join the Goal Accelerator maybe a month before the retreat, 2 months or 3 months. So it's like there's some friendships that are already there. There are some new friendships that need to be built. So the people who are brand new and don't know anybody need to feel safe and comfortable as well. And then of course we had over 50% return retreat attendees from retreat number 1, which is great. But also we didn't just want it to feel like retreat 1 part 2, where everybody from the first retreat kind of, like would just have this different thing going on. We didn't want that at all. And so all of the programming was designed to just get women connecting, get women talking, have conversations that count. So the first night we kicked it off with a reception. That was a highlight for me because it's the first time you're seeing everybody gathered and you realize, oh my God, we are having a global retreat on the island of Mykonos in Europe, and most of the women from here flew from the Caribbean to be here. Amazing. So I think for me, the retreat, the first night, the reception was really special because I connected with all the women that I'm accustomed to connecting virtually. I have been so much a part of a lot of women's stories and getting updates from them and actually seeing them and seeing the work that they've done like in front of my face is actually really different for some reason than just seeing it virtually. It's the moment where it becomes real. And so also just the deep appreciation of everybody who was there to just be there in community with each other. Reception was a vibe. And then everybody in shades of blue, everybody looking so beautiful. The hugs, I got like the best hugs. I even got gifts, Lord. It was amazing. Reception night 1, definite highlight. And then day 2 now, we start with our workshop. I'm the type of person, I want to do the hard work first and then the play after. And I think the workshop is the hardest work, definitely for me as a host, because I'm, delivering the workshop. It's what, I've been thinking about working toward for a year because I start to consider the theme and, work on what I want to do in the workshop months before. So doing that, and I don't want to say getting it over with, I would say delivering that and seeing women have aha moments and seeing how it lands and seeing that it's not just me and, just having women open up. And of course the tears will flow because it's moments of deep vulnerability. Yes, so at the reception now is where the months of consideration, of deep consideration and research and preparation you've done gets actually delivered. You get to see how it's landing. You get to see the impact. You get to see people switch on. Lots of women have been carrying stuff as well related to the theme that we choose. And so they have the chance to open up in a space of such safety and support and varied experience with such a unique group of women who are all committed to winning. I mean, it's such an opportunity. I want to say it's like therapy, but it's like active working on self and coming to appreciate yourself and acknowledge yourself and release things and let go of things and learn new things. So the workshop was definitely, for me, once I got that done, I was like, okay, yes, the retreat has been successful. As long as that session is successful, for me, everything else is easy. And then towards the end of the retreat now, boom, our special guests. Like if you ask any Goal Accelerator, they will no doubt tell you that having Nicole Walters join us was one of the highlights of the Goal Accelerator retreat, Mykonos. It was a surprise. It was hard to keep it a surprise. Nicole Walters is a best-selling author, no New York Times bestseller, multi-millionaire, I would say running multi-million-dollar businesses, which I think is awesome. She's built from the ground up. She quit her job on live TV, or live Periscope, I should say, like 10 years ago or something. And since then has been, building her own career. She's, She had a show on USA. She has a new show coming out. She's been doing the damn thing, and lots of Goal Accelerators follow her. And I went to a conference with her, or that she held last November, and to have her come to Goal Accelerator was a dream. Listen, I didn't even know if I knew it was gonna happen. Like, I knew it was gonna happen, but there was a part of me like, is this really gonna happen? And it really happened. And so just her spending time and pouring into women and just seeing how she was just landing for everybody there and just shifting mindsets and getting women just believing in their own power was outstanding. And I got to be a participant at that point, which was also a great opportunity for me. So that was a highlight. And that was the day 2 strategy workshop. After that, everybody headed out to lunch on their own, heard that they had fun in the town of Mykonos. I had a working lunch. It's really important for me to just remember that while I'm there, definitely to have fun. This is work for me for sure, but like awesome work. And so anyway, everybody went off to lunch, and then we reconvened for dinner. Dinner is where we had asked Nicole anything, but because we had Nicole Walters, who was just so generous to not only come to the workshop and deliver, but then also, and by the way, she spoke for like an hour because I taped it. She spoke for an hour at the retreat. Then she gets to the dinner, and everybody goes around and expressed what they were grateful for, which was really awesome because you get to know people by what they're grateful for. And then it was Ask Nicole's Anything. So every month in the Goal Accelerator, we have a live with me called Ask Nicole Anything. And it's mostly about systems, but about anything can come up, fear, procrastination, anything, productivity. And so because I'm Nicole Campbell and she's Nicole Walters, it turned into Ask Nicole's Anything. And folks were able to ask, just deep questions that you would normally have to pay. Nicole's rate, first of all, for a speaking engagement in the US is like multiple 6 figures, like well over 50K, okay? And she was at the retreat in Mykonos. And then the Q&A with her, where you get to just basically pick her brain. How did you get the book deal? How did you get the TV show? How do you handle this? How do you know when that? How do you go through this process of writing a book? How do you secure the publisher? And she was just about to embark on her book tour, Good Morning America, the Sherry Shepherd show, I saw People magazine, a whole thing. And so she was really able to bring us really close to that process. But also, she did a lot of belief transference as well, which is like, this is all possible for you, but don't take what you've learned here and then just lull off. So it was really great that, women then have booked ongoing work with me for me to work with them one-on-one, which is really the first time I'm offering this on such a wide scale, I should say. So that's an exciting thing for me as well. I think I did not take that on for a while because I was afraid it would become unmanageable. But I like it where it is, and it's for a select few women, and it's great, and I'm excited. And that was day 2. And then people went to the club. But Nikki never went to the club. Meaning, I would normally go to the club, guys, but I had to stay focused. I was there for work. Because, I need sleep, and I really wanted all my faculties about me, but I saw the pictures and the videos from a wild night out in Mykonos, and the girls had fun, is all I'll say. So done with dinner now, etc. We wake up the next day. It was time to tourist you guys. No, let me tell you something. What I didn't get, because the retreat last year was in Jamaica. So because none of us are really tourists to Jamaica, we just stayed in the hotel, did our retreat. We had beach, pool, everything, but we didn't really leave. Mykonos, we are all touristing. So this is where, as you know, the Goal Accelerator retreat has an aspect of travel in it. And travel is so fun because, I can go into the productivity benefits of novelty for the brain, but I won't. I'll spare you. But there are so many benefits, right? So we got up, we went on a walking tour of Mykonos, which was actually brought to you by Sassy. and she is a travel agent and also sponsor of Goal Accelerator Retreat. So it was really fun to have girls there who are also sponsors of the retreat. And we did a great walking tour. We learned all about like why are the buildings all white and how was the island really discovered, and you know, how did it get this tradition as being this VIP exclusive island, and all these things we learned, which was fabulous. And then it was time to rest for the yacht party. So we rested, and before I didn't rest. By the time I reached back and chat to Jeffrey 3 it was like time for the yacht party. So we jumped in the vans and went to the dock and got on the yacht. I had a whale of a time. You know, we always party when we have a retreat, and it's so important for us to just let our hair down. Some of us don't have hair, but you know what I mean. And just enjoy, just have fun. Like, we work really hard and we go hard, and it's just good to just be like, let's just party together. And we had a great time. We had a fun time on the boat, dance, and we just, you know, we do what we do. We had fun. And then we went back to the hotel impromptu, because everybody was like, this has been so fun, this has been so fun on the yacht. They're like, where is the next Goal Accelerator retreat? Where is the next Goal Accelerator retreat? And I'm like, guys, calm down. When are you gonna tell us? And then I said, you know what? Reconvene. Let me see if we're not serious. 9 p.m. And I gave them the location in the hotel for everybody to find out where is the next Goal Accelerator retreat. So then the yacht party ended, and I ran to my room, had a shower, and went to the appointed location for the announcement. Everybody was there, much to my shock. I was like, okay, everybody's really waiting. And I made the announcement that the Goal Accelerator Retreat 2024 will be in Latin America and the Caribbean. I feel like I'm back in college, because they would never call the Caribbean name by itself. It was always Latin America and the Caribbean. So we are back to the LAC region for Goal Accelerator 2024. And you know, so funny that the little gathering that we had turned into an actually, you know what happened? I gathered everybody to hear the announcement for the next retreat, but we also had something we had planned to do on the boat. But when I realized we could gather again, I was like, no. So part of the tradition of the Goal Accelerator retreat is that you choose a word. You choose a word, and this is your word for the next 12 months. And when we had it, we did that at Sandals South Coast Goal Accelerator 22. I can't even put into words. It's mystical almost, how the word that you get is so right for where you are and right for what you need. And you know, we pray over the words. First of all, pray over the words when we're coming up with the words. Pray over the words when we are cut up the words. Pray over the words when we put the words in the bag and shake them up. And then we call each woman to the front, and they dig around in there and they pull out their own word. And then they started to share why that word, just spontaneously, you know, why that word was exactly what they needed. In fact, there were stories of how, you know, like I think Janine said this word was the exact thing she was talking to her husband about the night before and saying, with that word. And the word that I got, dear God, I was like, this cannot be real. I asked God to give everybody exactly what they needed, and He delivered, because everybody's word really grounded them and focused them on what needs to really be a central part of your life for the next 12 months in a focused, deliberate way. And so that was very powerful. It could also have been my favorite part of the retreat, because for me, the fun is fun, and I love the fun parts, but the parts where it just hit you. You know, you could have one moment that validates the entire experience for you. And I love for each person to have that moment. So when I see that happening as the retreat host, that's for me my favorite. And then last but certainly not least, because you know we over deliver. On the final day now, we did our stretch and release. It was a stretch and release for Goal Accelerator 2022. We literally stretched. We wrote a letter to ourselves releasing certain things. We burned a letter, we released it. This year, we wrote a word or something that we want to just break free of. And then we broke plates because we were in Greece. So we broke all the plates, and that was our final activity before everyone headed back to their homes. And there you have it, the Goal Accelerator Retreat in a nutshell. Well, a little bit more than a nutshell, but you know me. Huge thank you to all of our amazing partners, sponsors of the Goal Accelerator Retreat, from Grace Kennedy to the DB Glow to our woman Simone Keys CPAs, Sassy with Sassy Galleria Travel. So we had large companies, medium-sized companies, as well as entrepreneurs who sponsored the Goal Accelerator Retreat. So it's very exciting for us. And I've particularly enjoyed the different things that we got to do with our sponsors as part of the Goal Accelerator Retreat. And so, you know, here's my thing. I want to show how I use and experience sponsors myself. And I think just building that relationship and then sharing that, you know, relationship, that service, that product, whatever it is, with my audience, with our women, has been really a special opportunity. Of course, none of us missed. I heard it even made it to nationwide news, Landy. My cooking, OMG. I don't know why, that was just so incredible. But I mean, just because I don't cook doesn't mean I can't cook, as everybody in my house found out when they had to put some new respect on my name. All the one, Joshua, where every time I mention something about cooking, he snickers. He was begging more fried dumpling and mackerel. So that was fun. I did something I don't normally do and proved to myself I could do it, because everybody kept saying it was gonna be so hard, the fried dumpling part. Just don't bother set your aspirations so high. Just make some rice. I was like, nope, I'm making fried dumpling, because that's how I enjoy mackerel, is with fried dumpling. So I did it, I made it, we are winning, and I just might be a budding chef. We'll see what we have in mind with Grace next year, right? And then of course there's a DB Glow, and as part of that I went in, did an evaluation on my skin. They did some really like high-tech stuff, looked at all my pores, just, you know, helped me understand the different layers of my skin. Me hear some vocabulary I never hear yet. I don't remember exactly what's going on, but I know as I'm getting older, I have to be more deliberate. It's not that I'm gonna take more time. In fact, I'm taking less time, but more deliberate about, you know, how am I preserving my skin? And so that was exciting. I have hyperpigmentation, I have eczema, I have things going on. So it was good to get a very scientific and medical sort of orientation on what's actually happening on my face. And then I did a vampire facial. So I drew blood and separated the platelets, and then run this prickly thing over my face and put back the high platelet blood plasma into my skin, which caused my skin to produce lots of collagen as it repaired itself. And so all I could imagine is all the collagen rushing to my face. And within 3 weeks, before that, but within 3 weeks, Nikki well clean. Today is the first day I've worn makeup in many weeks. Definitely since the vampire facial. And so it's just given me more confidence in showing up just as me. And also, since I'm taking on some very physically demanding roles in my household these days, I need more time. And so not having to go through the whole makeup thing has been very helpful. I've just been showing up. Sometimes, like I never used to show up at a meeting with no makeup on. I just show up because I know, like I feel confident about how my skin looks. It's glowing, it feels really supple, it feels really soft, and I'm getting all these compliments. So I'm just like Pamela Anderson all the way. And so I've loved being able to do that. I went for a checkup recently and heard that I'm doing another vampire facial in about 2 weeks, so that by the time Christmas comes, you know, Nikki will be winning and maintaining. So that was DB Glow. We had Grace. Imperial Optical was awesome because I got some new glasses that were just in time for Mykonos. I decided to pick what I would never normally pick, because I normally go for big glasses that kind of take up most of my face. And these were like funky and a bit more fun. So that was nice. I also tested my eye health, which is really important as we get older, girls. So that was really fun. I had a meeting with Keys CPAs, which I had actually had on my calendar from before. So it wasn't just because they were sponsoring, but it was fun to really experience the service that I was going to talk about. And so that one visit with Simone, sitting down, running through what was on my mind, what was going on, etc., has saved me, no doubt, a lot of money. And also has me just feeling more relaxed and clear about how I need to be doing certain things in my business. So that was really, really great. Sassy, of course, we got to experience her handiwork doing the walking tour, but you know, it was important to have her on board as a sponsor, not just because she's a retreat attendee, which is awesome, but because of the direction the retreat itself is going in terms of travel being a real part of it, a real part of the experience. And just, we need the reminder as busy women who are on the go, who are doing, you know, I don't hate to say doing it all, but sometimes that's literally what we feel like we're doing, right? We have to slow down and do things just for ourselves, and travel is such a way to open your mind. So excited that she was on board. We had Designs by Mark on board. Designs by Mark has done every single AIM shirt for the past 13 years. So having partners who I trust and rely on in my business and in my life, major key. The water I use in my house now is Catherine's Peak. As part of Grace Kennedy, they were also on board with the retreat, so that's really great. And Designs by Mark sponsored as well as did all the embroidery on our retreat swag bags. Swag bags are a major part of the Goal Accelerator retreat, because whenever I go anywhere, I love getting a swag bag that I love, where I can actually use the products. And so speaking of that, Earth Elements was another sponsor. Now we're very bossy. So Earth Elements developed our own signature Goal Accelerator body lotion, body cream, body butter. So we had our own signature body butter, and we had our own signature Goal Accelerator body oil. And they're both derived from my favorite perfume, which is Delina. So the body butter was Coco Delina, and then the Goal Accelerator body oil smell rich, and I loved it. And now they're actually, it's so good and we want more of it, and they're actually putting it on general sale. So I know that's gonna be a part of everybody's Christmas gift. They have to get this body butter and this body oil because it's just so luxurious and reminds me so much of our time in Mykonos. So the Earth Elements was on board as a sponsor for the second time, which we were really excited about and loved. Another one of our sponsors, Unwind Distributors. Again, I love sharing. We talked about that. That's how Goal Accelerator got started, by me wanting to share my vision boards. I love sharing things that work for me in my life. And last November at the same Nicole Walters conference, one of my mentees told me I had a green arm. No, listen, I was very cute. I was very cute in my red dress with my green arm. And at that time, I had been cycling through these different natural deodorants because I wanted to find something non-toxic. I've really been trying to be more deliberate about what I'm putting in my body, one thing at a time. If I think about everything, the hair, the this, the that at the same time, it feels too hard. So one thing at a time, and I decided I would target my deodorant. And so most of the natural things, them never work. Like my arm just box it way. My arm defeated those deodorants. And so when I found Zion Health JA, which distributes the clay dry deodorant, what I found was the clay dry deodorant, okay? They sent it to me as a sample. I don't know if they saw me talking about my green arm on social media, because I actually did post about it. I was like, guys, can you believe my arm was green? Anyway, I got the deodorant. It actually worked. It worked for me. And I said, okay, let me give it the real test. It worked for Lauren. Test passed. And I'm like, okay, this really works and it's non-toxic. And so I wanted to shout it to the rooftop. I've been sharing it. And then Unwind Distributors, the distributor of the clay dry deodorant in Jamaica, came on board. And that was a thrill to be able to share products that are non-toxic, that really work, and that help make our life easier. One less thing to think about. No Goal Accelerator should be worried about a green arm. Like, no. The other sponsor, which is near and dear to me, to my heart, and every once a month, it's near and dear to all of us, is Woman's Touch, which is the pad that I use. It's organic, it's totally cotton, it's totally safe, and compared to some of the other popular brands on the market that are coated with plastic and do all kinds of not nice things to your vagina, Woman's Touch. And so I've been singing the praises of Woman's Touch again for years. So to have them on board, Goal Accelerator as a sponsor this year just felt like, you know, just so seamless, super authentic. This is a brand I really trust and believe in, and I want all women to use. And so Women's Touch was a sponsor. Ali K Naturals. Ali K Naturals was a 2023 retreat sponsor. We loved having them on board. Their products are products that Ali now uses. She tried them in her hair. She loved them so much, she uses them now. Ali K Naturals is founded by Rochelle Graham Campbell, who is a Jamaican. Absolutely love her. She's so cool. They're distributed in Target. They're like in so many different countries. Earth Element sells Ali K Naturals. And so I got Ali on her influencer, her first time doing, I think, a brand sort of reel. And so she showed the whole process over 3 reels of how she used the product, which was really great. And then Lauren grabs it up, and she didn't make a video, but she's now using it. So it's good for me to be able to confidently share what we use in our house and also get new things that can become part of our routine. So Ali K Naturals on board, winning, loved how they were able to turn up for us this year. And then Monique Reynolds, who is a Goal Accelerator. So the law offices of Monique Reynolds were also a sponsor, and she's an immigration attorney. And for us Caribbean people, that's extremely important, a US immigration attorney. And she's just been killing it and changing the lives of people and families with what she does. And SSMC also came on board as a sponsor. We had to move, as you can imagine, the logistics in moving things for the swag bag from where they're ordered to be assembled, to be moved again. It was a whole process. So we were so grateful to have SSMC on board as our logistics sponsor. I must also mention Desrianne. Desrianne came on board as a sponsor of the retreat by giving support to me in terms of, you know, making sure the event went over well, reviewing my presentation, just making sure that with her Desrianne is someone who has worked with me on the Goal Accelerator Club since right after its inception. And so she was able to just come on board, knowing the history of the club, knowing exactly what we wanted to achieve, having been at the retreat last year. So really, she just spent so much time just making sure that everything was being put together by me according to the vision that I had set. And that was really invaluable to me. And so having Desrianne on board as a sponsor was just key for putting together the event, for it to feel the way we wanted it to feel, for it to have the impact we wanted it to have. And so, yes, those are all my sponsors. We are in celebration of we have a lot to celebrate. We're celebrating 5 years this year. We're celebrating our first international retreat, and we're celebrating a real shift in how we do what we do at Goal Accelerator, especially with more small group. We're gonna have more small group mastermind type programs, which are, 8 to 12 weeks in duration, so short. Small groups led by me. We're doing one-on-one coaching now in Goal Accelerator with our VIP days. And we're just, growing in these incredible ways. And with 5 years down, what we're able to see is the real impact on women over time, which has been thrilling. When we see a Goal Accelerator who joined, we had a Goal Accelerator at the retreat who was 7 years in. And that means before Goal Accelerator was Goal Accelerator, guys. This is when it was 7-day vision unlock. And to see what she has been able to do, start a business, grow a business, hire multiple employees, just keep scaling, keep moving to that next level in terms of her business and her life. and her ideas of what is possible for herself is really exciting. So we've been able to see what happens over time to a goal accelerator that sticks with it and stays consistent. And we have new ways to serve goal accelerators. It feels like a lot to celebrate. And so that's why we are launching our YouTube channel, which will just help to tell the story and highlight the story of Goal Accelerator. And that's where our relaunched podcast will also be hosted. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited that Goal Accelerator YouTube will be a thing. So Goal Accelerator on YouTube, Goal Accelerator on Instagram, Goal Accelerator not so much on Facebook, but the things we share from Instagram gets over to Facebook, Goal Accelerator on Twitter, and then goalacceleratorclub.com is where we are. We are going to, next year, we're going to launch goalaccelerator.com, right, Landy? Yes. Hi, my name is Nicole McLaren Campbell. I'm inviting you to join our community on YouTube by hitting the subscribe button below.